Thank you for choosing HQUA. In this video, we'll walk you through how to properly maintain your fountain pump, ensuring smooth operation and long-lasting performance. Here are the tools needed. First, remove the fastener, spray nozzle, and flat washer from the pump. Once those are out of the way, gently lift the floating plate and set it aside. Next, locate the intake screen at the base of the pump. You'll notice 3 bolts holding it in place. Use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to remove them. Then carefully take off the screen and set it aside as well. Flip the pump over. Now loosen the strain relief on the motor lead. To do this, use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver to loosen the 2 screws. And gently move the motor lead away from the pump. Lay the pump on its side. You'll see 3 long bolts and cap nuts securing the intake housing. Use a 3/8-inch nut driver and wrench to loosen them. Remove the nut caps. Once they're loose, turn the pump upright again and remove the bolts completely. Now carefully separate the fountain top, the intake housing, and the motor top bracket. Note that some older versions of the pump may not include this top bracket. Handle this step gently to avoid damaging any components. Then you'll find 4 bolts securing it to the base. Use a number 3 Phillips screwdriver to remove these bolts. Once the bolts are out, gently lift the motor from the base and remove the bottom bracket. There are 2 versions of the pump. One is FS01 half horsepower pump, and the other is the FS02 quarter horsepower pump. If you're working with the FS01, you'll notice 2 pins on the stator and matching pinholes on the rotor. Carefully separate the rotor from the stator. For the FS02, there are no pins or pinholes on it. Simply separate the rotor from the stator directly. At this point, you're ready to clean the parts. Here is an example of a fountain that shows buildup and needs cleaning. Start by preparing a container filled with clean water. Add your preferred cleaning solution, whether that's citric acid, CLR, or a pump cleaner. Stir the solution thoroughly, then place the disassembled parts into the container. Let them soak for 3 to 4 hours. Once the parts have soaked, put on gloves and use a sponge to gently scrub away any residue. Pay special attention to the rotor surface and the interior of the stator, as these areas are prone to buildup. After scrubbing, rinse everything thoroughly with clean water and set the parts aside, using the same method to clean the other parts. Once everything is clean, it's time to put the pump back together. Starting with the rotor and stator, Align the pinholes on the rotor with the pins on the stator for the FS01 model. Insert the rotor and test the impeller by rotating it. If it doesn't spin smoothly, remove the rotor, rotate it 180 degrees and try again. For the FS02 model, simply insert the rotor into the stator without worrying about alignment. Next, reattach the bottom bracket to the motor. Make sure all 4 locking tabs are securely engaged. Carefully position the motor back onto the base, aligning the screw holes precisely. Use a number 3 Phillips screwdriver and 4 bolts to secure the motor in place. For older pump versions without a top bracket, you can skip this step. This small top bracket is for the FS02 pump only. Align the groove with the motor wire port. While the larger top bracket is included with both the FS01 and FS02 pumps. Ensure the notches match up with the bolt holes on the base. Use a long bolt to check the positioning. Now find the gap in the middle of the base gasket. Line up the bottom edge of the stainless steel housing with this gap and insert it. Then place the top gasket on top. Next, position the fountain top onto the intake housing, ensuring the motor lead doesn't cross over the motor. And all 3 screw holes on the top cover align with the corresponding slots in the top bracket. Insert the 3 long bolts into it. And screw the cap nuts on the bottom of it. Lay the pump on its side and use a 3/8" wrench and nut driver to secure the fountain top to the intake housing. After that, flip the pump upside down and reinstall the intake screen. Align the 3 holes on the screen with the bottom of the pump. Insert the screws and secure them with a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Finally, flip the pump upright again. Tighten the strain relief on the motor lead. Place the 2 screws on it using the number 2 Phillips screwdriver to secure them. Then reattach the floating plate, flat washer, spray nozzle, and fastener. Your fountain pump maintenance is now complete. Thank you for trusting HQUA for your fountain solutions. If you encounter any issues or have questions, feel free to reach out to us at hqua.tech@gmail.com. Thank you for choosing HQUA and enjoy your fountain system.